I woke up in a hospital bed. My wife and her brother hovered over me. You had an accident. Just sign these insurance forms, she said. Something felt wrong. When a nurse walked in and asked one question, everything changed. White ceiling tiles swam in my vision. Everything hurt. My head pounded like someone was taking a sledgehammer to my skull from the inside. My mouth tasted like metal and chemicals. Bitter, wrong, the taste of something that shouldn't be in a human body. You had an accident, my wife Jennifer said. She stood over me holding a stack of papers, her face oddly expressionless, clinical. Just sign these insurance forms so we can move forward. Her brother Derek loomed beside her, arms crossed. That smirk I'd always hated plastered across his face. I tried to sit up. White-hot pain shot through my ribs, my stomach, everywhere. What? My voice came out raspy, destroyed. What happened? Car crash, Jennifer said quickly. Too quickly. You don't remember? I didn't remember anything. The last thing I could recall was, what, Thursday night? Friday morning? Eating dinner? Everything after that was just black. What day is it? Sunday. Jennifer pushed the papers closer to my face. The motion made my vision swim. The insurance company needs these signed today. There's a deadline. I squinted at the papers, but the words wouldn't stay still. They slid around like oil on water. Let me see my phone first, I said. I need to— Your phone was destroyed in the crash, Derek cut in. His voice had that edge it always got when he was lying. Just sign the forms, man. Jennifer needs to deal with the insurance company. I want to call my brother. Jake will— He's out of town, Jennifer said, her voice tight. Please, Michael, just sign so we can handle this. She thrust a pen into my hand. Black ballpoint. The kind from hospital reception desks. I tried to focus on the papers. The letterhead swam, but I caught words. Beneficiary. Life insurance. $2 million. My brain was moving through mud, but something clicked. Why do I need to sign insurance forms if I'm alive? Jennifer's smile tightened. Just fractionally, but I saw it. It's just paperwork. For the accident claim. For a car accident I survived? Yes. Now please sign before the deadline expires. My hand shook. The pen felt heavy as lead. Then a nurse walked in. Middle-aged woman. Kind eyes. The exhausted look of someone who'd been on shift too long. She carried a tablet and looked at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. Mr. Patterson, the nurse said slowly, carefully. Do you know why you're really here? Jennifer spun around. He had a car accident. Actually, the nurse interrupted, her voice cutting through Jennifer's lie like a scalpel. You were admitted Friday night for acute poisoning. Your blood work showed extremely high levels of ethylene glycol. The room went silent. What? My voice cracked. That's ridiculous, Derek said, but his voice wavered. The police report clearly states— There is no police report, the nurse said, looking directly at him. Because there was no accident. Your wife brought you in Friday at 11:47 p.m. You were unconscious. Severe organ damage. We've been treating you for antifreeze poisoning for the past 36 hours. I'd been married to Jennifer for 6 years. Met her at a tech conference in Austin. I was presenting on cybersecurity protocols for financial institutions. She was there representing her marketing firm. Beautiful, confident, funny. We clicked immediately. Married 18 months later. The first 4 years were good. Great, even. We bought a house in Palo Alto. I got promoted to Senior Director of Information Security at a fintech company called Stratus Financial. Jennifer's marketing firm grew. We talked about kids, about the future. Then her brother Derek moved to California. Derek was 34, 2 years younger than Jennifer, 5 years younger than me. He'd failed at 3 different businesses, burned through 2 marriages, and had the kind of smooth-talking charisma that made people trust him right up until he screwed them over. Jennifer insisted he stay with us, temporarily, while he got back on his feet. That was 8 months ago. I'd started noticing things around month 3. The way Jennifer and Derek would stop talking when I entered rooms. How they'd exchange glances I couldn't quite interpret. The way Derek always seemed to be around when Jennifer got dressed or showered, like he'd accidentally walk past our bedroom at exactly the wrong times. I told myself I was paranoid, jealous. They were siblings. It was normal for them to be close, but then I found the text messages. 3 months ago, I'd picked up Jennifer's phone by mistake. Same model as mine, same black case. A text notification popped up from D. He suspects something. We need to be more careful. I'd opened the thread, scrolled up, found months of messages. Not romantic messages, nothing explicitly sexual, but something worse. Cold, calculating, plans, timelines, numbers. The policy is 2 malers. Accidental death pays double. How long until it's done? He changed the beneficiary forms at work. We need the life insurance policy. The one through Northwestern Mutual. That one still has me listed. I'd screenshotted everything, sent them to my personal email, deleted the evidence from her sent folder. Then I'd called my lawyer, my financial advisor, changed every beneficiary on every account to my brother Jake, cut Jennifer out completely. But I'd stayed in the house, played normal, gathered evidence, because I needed to know how far they'd go. Apparently, the answer was murder. The nurse's words hung in the air. Antifreeze poisoning. 36 hours of treatment. Jennifer's face had gone white. The papers slipped from her hand, scattering across the hospital bed. Life insurance forms. Beneficiary designation. $2 million if I died. You tried to kill me. My voice was flat, emotionless. Shock, probably. That's insane, Jennifer said, but her voice wavered. Michael, you're confused. The crash— There was no crash, the nurse repeated firmly. She looked at Jennifer with open contempt. Your wife admitted admitted you under false pretenses. She told the ER staff you'd been in a single car accident, but there were no external injuries consistent with a collision, no broken bones, no lacerations, just the classic presentation of ethylene glycol poisoning, metabolic acidosis, altered mental status, kidney damage. Derek grabbed Jennifer's arm. We should go. Let him rest. No. I pressed the call button beside my bed. Security. You're being paranoid, Jennifer said, but she was backing toward the door. The stress of the accident. Your wife tried to prevent the medical staff from running a comprehensive toxicology panel, the nurse continued, consulting her tablet. She claimed you had a history of alcohol abuse, and this was probably related to that. But we ran the tests anyway because your symptoms didn't match alcohol poisoning. Hospital security appeared in the doorway, two large men in navy uniforms with radio clipped to their belts. These people need to leave, the nurse said, and someone needs to call the police. This is an attempted homicide case. Jennifer's mask cracked. Derek, do something. I'm not going to jail for you, Derek said, backing away from her like she was radioactive. This was your idea. You helped me. Jennifer's voice rose to a shriek. You bought the antifreeze. You helped me put it in his drinks. Helped you what? I asked quietly. Silence. The kind that crushes you. Derek broke first. Coward always broke first. The antifreeze was her idea. I just helped her buy it, and I helped her bring you here, but I didn't know she was going to try to kill you. I thought you thought what? I interrupted. That poisoning me was some kind of prank? You're pathetic. Jennifer spat at her brother. You tried to murder your husband for $2 million. Derek shot back, his voice rising. I'm not taking the fall for this. The nurse had her phone out. I could see the screen. Voice recording app. Timer running. You're recording this? Jennifer lunged for the nurse. Security caught her arm. Firmly. Professionally. Let me go. Jennifer struggled. He was supposed to sign them. The deadline is today. The policy renews tomorrow, and then it's too late. One of the security guards, his name tag said Morrison, spoke into his radio. We need law enforcement to room 347. Possible attempted homicide. Suspect is becoming aggressive. I'm not a suspect, Jennifer screamed. I'm his wife. I was trying to help him. By poisoning him with antifreeze? The nurse asked dryly. Police arrived 7 minutes later. 2 officers, 1 male, 1 female, both looking tired from the Sunday shift. The female officer, badge said L. Chen, took one look at the scene and her expression hardened. Someone want to tell me what's going on? The nurse handed over her tablet and her phone. Patient was admitted Friday night with severe ethylene glycol poisoning. His wife tried to prevent us from running toxicology tests and has been trying to get him to sign life insurance documents. She and her brother just admitted to poisoning him. I have it recorded. Officer Chen listened to the recording. Her jaw tightened with each second. Jennifer Patterson, she said. Derek Walsh? This is a misunderstanding, Jennifer tried. My husband is confused. You're under arrest for attempted murder. Officer Chen pulled out handcuffs. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. They handcuffed Jennifer right there in front of the nursing staff, in front of patients watching from doorways, drawn by the commotion, in front of Derek, who'd pressed himself against the wall like he could disappear into it. Jennifer screamed the entire time about the money, about how I'd ruined everything, about how I was supposed to die and make this easy. Derek Walsh, the male officer said, you're under arrest as an accomplice to attempted murder. Hands behind your back. Wait, I wasn't. Derek tried to run. Morrison, the security guard, blocked the door. Derek bounced off his chest and stumbled backward. They cuffed him at the elevator, read him his rights while he babbled about how it wasn't his idea, how Jennifer had manipulated him, how he'd tried to stop her. All lies. The text messages I'd found proved they'd been planning this together. Jennifer's sister, Sarah, appeared at the end of the hallway, visiting hours. She'd come to see someone else. I didn't know who, but she froze when she saw her sister in handcuffs. Sarah, Jennifer called out desperately. Tell them it's not what it looks like. Tell them. Sarah didn't move, just pulled out her phone and started recording. More people gathered, nurses on break, patients shuffling out of rooms, visitors, all watching, many recording. Jennifer fought against the handcuffs. Her perfect makeup was smeared with tears and mascara. Her hair, always so carefully styled, was disheveled. She looked feral. Officer Chen started walking her toward the elevator, past the growing crowd, past the phones pointed at her like accusations. Wait, I said. Everyone stopped. The hallway went quiet enough to hear the ventilation system humming. I picked up the insurance forms from my bed, held them up so Jennifer could see, so everyone could see. Jennifer, I said, loud enough for the entire hallway to hear, my voice steady despite the pain radiating through my body. I changed my beneficiary 3 months ago. Her eyes widened. The day I found your text messages to Derek, the ones where you discussed how to kill me and make it look like an accident, the ones where you calculated how much my life insurance was worth. The crowd murmured. Phones stayed pointed at Jennifer, capturing her face, her reaction. I changed every single beneficiary designation, I continued. Life insurance, 401k, investment accounts, the house. All of it goes to my brother Jake now. Jennifer's face went from white to gray. And the insurance company? I looked directly at her. Northwestern Mutual called me Wednesday, told me about your inquiry, about how you'd called asking about death benefit processing times, about about what documentation would be required if I died unexpectedly. I smiled. It felt wrong on my poisoned hospital bed face, but I did it anyway. They flagged it as suspicious, sent me a notification. That's when I forwarded them all your text messages to Derek, all the screenshots I'd been saving. They opened a fraud investigation before you even poisoned me. Jennifer's knees buckled. Officer Chen caught her, held her upright. So you poisoned me for $2 million you were never going to get, I said. You destroyed your life, your brother's life, your freedom, for nothing. The hallway erupted in whispers. The phones kept recording. Jennifer's sister Sarah had tears streaming down her face, but her phone never wavered. Take her away, Officer Chen said, pulling Jennifer toward the elevator. Jennifer collapsed. Actually collapsed, her legs giving out completely. They had to drag her. She was screaming, incoherent sounds, not even words anymore, just the sound of someone's entire world disintegrating. Derek followed silently, his face blank with shock. He'd gambled on $2 million and lost everything, and everyone in that hallway watched it happen, recorded it, would share it with friends, family, social media. Jennifer's complete destruction, witnessed and documented by dozens of people. The elevator doors closed on Jennifer's anguished face. The crowd slowly dispersed, murmuring, sharing videos, already crafting the story they'd tell about the wife who tried to murder her husband for insurance money. The nurse, her name tag said Patricia Morrison, RN, came back after the police had left. How did you know? I asked. How did you know something was wrong? She sat in the chair Jennifer had occupied earlier. Your wife's behavior. She was too controlled, too specific about not running certain tests. Most spouses in an emergency are panicked, emotional, begging us to do everything possible. She was tactical. It raised red flags. Thank you, I said. You saved my life. Dr. Sarah Winters saved your life, Patricia corrected. She's the one who insisted on the full toxicology panel despite your wife's objections. She'll be by later to discuss your treatment. How bad is it? Patricia's expression grew serious. Ethylene glycol is extremely toxic. You were in acute kidney failure when you arrived. We've been running hemodialysis to filter your blood. You'll need ongoing treatment, but Dr. Winters thinks you'll make a full recovery. How long was I unconscious? 36 hours. You were admitted Friday night at 11:47 p.m. It's now Sunday afternoon, 2:15 p.m. I tried to remember Friday. Dinner. I'd made pasta, my specialty, carbonara with pancetta and fresh parmesan. Jennifer had been unusually attentive, pouring my wine, refilling my glass. The wine. She put it in my wine, I said aloud. Patricia nodded, most likely. Ethylene glycol has a slightly sweet taste, but in wine it would be virtually undetectable. How much did you drink? 3 glasses, maybe 4, I don't remember. That's consistent with your blood concentration levels. Another glass and you probably wouldn't have survived long enough to get here. Detective Marcus Rodriguez arrived at 4:30 p.m., 38 years old, according to the business card he handed me. Homicide Division, Palo Alto Police Department, 14 years on the force, the last 6 in major crimes. Mr. Patterson, I know you've been through hell, but I need your full statement while everything's fresh, he said, sitting where Patricia had sat earlier. He had a recorder, a legal pad, and the exhausted eyes of someone who'd seen too much. I told him everything. Meeting Jennifer, the marriage, Derek moving in, the text messages I'd found, how I'd changed the beneficiaries, the insurance company's call, Friday night's dinner. Do you still have the screenshots? Rodriguez asked. Backed up to 3 different cloud accounts, I said. Google Drive, Dropbox, and my brother has physical copies. Rodriguez smiled grimly. Smart man, we'll need access to all of it, and we'll need your brother's contact information. He asked more questions, timeline, details, whether Jennifer had ever been violent before, whether Derek had a criminal record. Derek has 2 DUIs and a fraud conviction from 2019, I said. Something about a pyramid scheme in Nevada. You can look it up. Rodriguez made notes. That'll play poorly at trial, prior bad acts, and your wife's text messages discussing the insurance money. That establishes premeditation. This isn't a crime of passion. This was calculated murder for financial gain. What are they being charged with? Right now, attempted murder and conspiracy. But the DA might add insurance fraud, assault with a deadly weapon, ethylene glycol qualifies, and possibly even lying to law enforcement since your wife gave false information to the ER staff. How long could they get? Rodriguez's expression was grim. California takes poisoning very seriously. Attempted murder carries up to life in prison. With the premeditation, the financial motive, the conspiracy between family members, they're looking at 25 years to life, minimum. 25 years. Jennifer was 36. She'd be 61 when she got out, if she got out. And Derek? Accessory to attempted murder, conspiracy, fraud. Even if we can't prove he physically poisoned you, we can prove he knew about it and helped. He's looking at 15 to 20 years. Rodriguez stayed for another hour, getting every detail, promising to follow up with the hospital for medical records, coordinating with the insurance company's fraud investigation. One more thing, he said as he was leaving. The nurse's recording of their confession? That's admissible. California is a 2-party consent state for private conversations, but there's an exception when someone is confessing to a crime. That recording could convict them all by itself. Dr. Sarah Winters came by at 6:15 p.m., mid-40s, short dark hair, wearing scrubs under her white coat. She had the confident bearing of someone who'd spent 20 years making life and death decisions. "Mr. Patterson, you're incredibly lucky to be alive," she said, pulling up my chart on the room computer. "Ethylene glycol poisoning has a mortality rate of about 20% even with treatment. Without treatment, it's close to 100%. Patricia said I was in kidney failure? Acute kidney injury, yes. The ethylene glycol metabolizes into toxic compounds that crystallize in the kidneys. We've been running continuous hemodialysis since you arrived. Your kidney function is improving, but you'll need ongoing monitoring. Will there be permanent damage? Too early to say definitively, but your labs are trending in the right direction. I'm cautiously optimistic you'll make a full recovery." She explained the treatment in detail. The foamposol they'd given me to prevent further metabolism of the ethylene glycol, the dialysis schedule, the follow-up appointments I'd need. "You'll be here for at least another 3 days, Dr. Winters said. Possibly 5 depending on your kidney numbers, but you should be able to go home after that. You'll need outpatient dialysis for potentially several weeks, but home is better than here." "My home is a crime scene now," I said. "The police are probably searching it. Do you have somewhere else you can stay?" "My brother in San Jose. He's already on his way up." Jake arrived at 8:30 p.m., bursting through the door like a hurricane. He looked like me, same build, same dark hair going gray at the temples, but 3 years younger and infinitely more emotional. "Jesus Christ, Mike," he said, pulling me into a hug despite the IV lines and monitors. "When you called and said Jennifer tried to murder you, I thought, I know," I said. "I can't quite believe it either." He sat. I told him everything again. He listened with growing horror. "I knew I didn't like her," Jake finally said. "I knew something was off, but I thought she was just controlling, not homicidal. The text messages, I have copies, safe in my office. The police already called me." "Detective Rodriguez?" "Yeah, he's good. He wants to meet tomorrow to go over everything. The DA is fast-tracking the case. Apparently Jennifer and Derek are blaming each other. She says it was his idea. He says she manipulated him. Both of them are claiming they never meant to actually kill you." "I heard them confess," I said, on recording. "The whole hospital heard them confess. 15 different people got video. 3 posted to Facebook already. Jennifer's face is all over social media. I should have felt satisfaction. Instead, I just felt tired, poisoned, betrayed on a cellular level." The story broke on local news Monday morning. Palo Alto woman arrested for attempted murder of husband, insurance scam alleged. By Monday afternoon, it had gone national. CNN, Fox News, even international outlets picked it up. The story had everything: spousal betrayal, insurance fraud, a dramatic hospital confession, security camera footage of Jennifer being arrested. My company issued a statement supporting me, offered paid leave for as long as I needed. My friends called, texted, sent flowers and food, and awkward messages trying to express support for something they couldn't quite comprehend. Jennifer's friends went silent. Her social media accounts vanished. Her sister Sarah posted a statement condemning her and promising to cooperate fully with law enforcement. The preliminary hearing happened 6 days after my hospitalization. I was still in the hospital, still on dialysis, still recovering, but Detective Rodriguez kept me updated. "They're both pleading not guilty," he said over the phone. "Jennifer's lawyer is trying to claim temporary insanity. Derek's lawyer is arguing duress, that Jennifer manipulated him. Neither strategy is going to work. We have too much evidence. The text messages? Those alone would be enough. But we also have the insurance company's fraud investigation, your medical records proving poisoning, the nurse's recording of their confession, and security camera footage from a local home improvement store showing Jennifer and Derek buying antifreeze 4 days before you were poisoned." The trial was set for April, 6 months away. Plenty of time for the prosecutors to build an overwhelming case. I got out of the hospital on day 9. My kidney function had improved enough for outpatient dialysis. I moved into Jake's guest room in San Jose. Couldn't go back to the Palo Alto house. Too many memories, too much evidence tape, too much of Jennifer's presence still haunting every room. My company let me work remotely. I'd log in for meetings from Jake's home office, trying to focus on cybersecurity protocols while my brain kept replaying that moment in the hospital. White ceiling tiles, Jennifer's face, the taste of metal in my mouth. Physical therapy helped. The poisoning had damaged more than my kidneys. My muscles had atrophied from the prolonged unconsciousness. My coordination was off. My energy was gone, but slowly, painfully, I rebuilt. The divorce paperwork was filed by my attorney, Rebecca Martinez, within 2 weeks. Jennifer tried to fight it from county jail, claimed we should wait until after the criminal trial. The judge denied her request. "You tried to murder your spouse," Judge Patricia Thompson said during the hearing I attended via video link. "You have no standing to contest this divorce. It will be granted with prejudice. Mr. Patterson will retain all marital assets. You are entitled to nothing." Jennifer's attorney tried to object. The judge shut it down with a look. The divorce was finalized in 47 days. Fastest divorce in California history, probably. Turns out judges don't look kindly on spousal poisoning. The trial started April 17th, exactly 6 months and 2 days after Jennifer poisoned me. Santa Clara County Superior Court. The courthouse was packed. Journalists, true crime podcasters, people who'd followed the story online and wanted to see justice justice in person. I testified on day 3, walked through my relationship with Jennifer, finding the text messages, changing the beneficiaries, the dinner where she poisoned me, waking up in the hospital. Mr. Patterson, the prosecutor, Assistant District Attorney Lisa Chen, asked, "Why didn't you go to the police when you found those text messages?" "I needed proof," I said. "Text messages could be explained away. I needed them to actually do something criminal so there would be no doubt." "You put yourself at risk." "Yes, but I also made sure that if they succeeded, they'd get nothing. And I documented everything so that if they acted, there would be evidence." Jennifer's attorney tried to discredit me during cross-examination, suggested I'd fabricated the text messages, implied I was paranoid, asked why I'd stayed with my wife if I really thought she was planning to kill me. "I stayed because I needed proof that would hold up in court," I said calmly, "and because I didn't want to believe the woman I'd loved for 6 years was capable of murder. I was wrong about the second part, but I was right about the first." The jury, 8 women, 4 men, watched intently. Several looked angry. One woman in the front row was openly crying. The nurse, Patricia Morrison, testified about my admission, about Jennifer's suspicious behavior, about running the toxicology panel against Jennifer's wishes. Dr. Sarah Winters testified about the poisoning, about how close I'd come to dying, about the permanent damage that could have resulted. Detective Rodriguez presented the evidence: text messages, insurance company records, security footage of Jennifer and Derek buying antifreeze, the recording of their hospital confession. "The defendants didn't just plan this murder," Rodriguez said. "They discussed it in detail for months. They calculated the exact payout. They researched how long ethylene glycol took to kill. They bought the poison together. They administered it together. This was premeditated, calculated, cold-blooded attempted murder for profit." Derek testified against Jennifer. His attorney had cut a deal, 15 years in exchange for full cooperation. He took the stand and described everything: how Jennifer had approached him about the insurance money, how they'd planned the poisoning together, how she'd convinced him it would look like an accidental overdose or natural causes. "I was wrong," Derek said, his voice breaking. "I was wrong to help her. I was wrong to not stop her. I'll regret it for the rest of my life." Jennifer's attorney played recordings of phone calls between Derek and Jennifer where he discussed the plan. It backfired, made Jennifer look worse, not better. Jennifer didn't testify. Her attorney advised against it. Smart call. The prosecution would have destroyed her. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. Guilty on all counts: attempted murder, conspiracy, insurance fraud, lying to law enforcement. Jennifer's face crumpled when they read the verdict. She collapsed in her chair, sobbing uncontrollably. Her attorney touched her shoulder, but she shook him off. Sentencing happened 2 weeks later. Judge Thompson was unforgiving. "Mrs. Patterson, you attempted to murder your husband, a man who trusted you, loved you, built a life with you, for money. You poisoned him slowly, over the course of an evening, knowing exactly what you were doing. You brought him to the hospital not to save his life, but to manipulate him while he was vulnerable into signing documents that would enrich you at his expense. You showed no remorse, no humanity, no recognition of the evil you committed." She looked down at her paperwork. "I'm sentencing you to 28 years to life in California State Prison. No possibility of parole for 25 years. 28 years. Jennifer was 36. She'd be 64 if she got parole on her first hearing. More likely she'd be 70. Derek got 15 years as agreed in his plea deal, eligible for parole in 12. They took Jennifer away in handcuffs. She didn't scream this time, just walked mechanically, her face blank, her world destroyed.